All right, welcome to the Mortgage Marketing Expert Podcast. I'm your host, Phil Treadwell. Today we're with Jason Frazier. Jason, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great, man. Thanks for having me.
Man, you're the agent marketer.
I am.
For those who may not be familiar with you, take a minute, kind of tell everybody what your background is and what you're up to these days.
Yeah, so my background has mostly been in venture capital technology startups. I've been in the mortgage company the mortgage industry since 2009. It's a family business for me. I grew up in the mortgage industry and real estate with family members, but I just never. My career path took me to a different route. So I've been doing that since 2009. I recently left the mortgage company to start my own marketing, consulting, and coaching firm, which is the Agent Marketer.
Very cool.
And that's what I've been doing ever since.
That's awesome. Now, we're here at San Ramon, California at the Roadhouse Convention Center for the Create Wow Summit by Social Survey. You were up on stage yesterday doing a little bit of a talk on the little fireside chat panel. Tell us a little bit about what you were talking about and what you're kind of offering everybody.
Yeah, so my session yesterday was in regards to personalized marketing and from the foundational standpoint of creating personas and avatars. And surprisingly enough, we had a lot of marketers in the session, and not a lot of them are doing that. So they are running marketing strategy. They're running marketing technology systems like their CRM systems and their flyers and everything else. And so what I was talking about and hoping to teach them was about creating personas and avatars, which is basically instead of going in as a loan officer, generally, and you know this more than anyone, is that the standard script for a loan officer, they go into an agent's office, here's a flyer, I'll be the best loan officer you ever had, my pricing's awesome, products and stuff like that. Guess what? That's the same message they heard 10 times before. It's the same message they're going to hear 10 times after.
That's the new par.
Exactly. Yeah. So what if you spent 15 minutes and I gave them a script and my exact strategy on how you do it, spend 15 minutes to actually go online, go on LinkedIn, go on Facebook and learn about the person that you're targeting, right? So if you want that email to be opened and you understand that as a real estate agent, maybe they're a veteran, maybe they have a lot of family that are police or firefighters or
some tribe that they identify with.
Exactly. And so your subject line could be something like, I love what you're doing for firefighters and special programs. So that was my example based off of a script that I helped the loan officer do that actually did get the business. But not only that, but the real estate agent said, in my 15 years of doing this business, I had never got a personalized email from a loan officer. Nice. It's all about doing something for the loan officer, giving me business. And so what I teach them about personas and avatars is so that they could spend 15 minutes to look online and understand what that person cares about. I call it the 3 L's, what they like, what they love, and where they live. And if you could identify with that, your emails will be open, your calls will be answered, your other marketing, your Facebook ads, all that stuff plays into that because personalized marketing will increase your conversions by up to 40% when you identify with the person as opposed to yourself.
Man, that's fantastic. We talk a lot on the podcast about, you talked about the 3 L's. We talk about the 3 E's, your effort, effectiveness, and efficiency. Mm-hmm. Effort's what you do. Effectiveness is what you do right. And then efficiency is doubling down on what you're effective at to become more efficient. And I think that's a great tip in there because we all spend time on lead generation activities. Yep. And the more efficient that you can be in identifying with one of those 3 L's on whether it's a client or referral partner that you're trying to reach. And so I think that's great. What are some other things, obviously, to get an email opened, kind of identify with something? What are some other things that originators can do or mortgage professionals can do to not only brand themselves, but to create that attention and engagement, whether that's on social media or through their CRM? What are some other things they can do?
So honestly, the best thing you could do as a loan originator right now is have a story. Tell a story. So mostly when I see videos, and not just loan officers, but agents, title, same thing. Hi, I'm Jason Frazier. I'm with the Agent Marketer, this and that. Look, you have very, very minimal amount of time to grab someone's attention, right?
A few seconds.
Nobody cares about you. Nobody cares about me. But if I start off with a story saying, when I was young and I was growing up with my mom, single mom working with my sister, and she wanted us to have a better life. She wanted to get us a house. Like that's a story that grabs people right off the beginning, right? That's something where they can identify. There's some commonality involved with that. That's what you need to do. You need to become a storyteller. And you don't need to be a copywriter. You don't need to be an author. You just talk about your life.
Be authentic.
Be authentic because that's what people identify. We are being, as consumers, and we're all consumers, regardless if we're in sales or not, is that we're being sold to and marketed to every single day. When you go to the mall, you got the gauntlet of the kiosks that you have to walk through, everywhere. Commercials, you're always being sold to. Be the one where the message is different, right? If you look around and you're sending out, I'm a very, very staunch opponent to the canned automated marketing crap that the industry has decided that that's what we're going to do. Can you imagine if you see a sea of blue and there's a red item in the middle, what is your eye going to be drawn to? So stand out, be different, take risks, embrace the awkward. Just don't worry about it. If you stumble, I say a lot, right? When professional speakers say, "Well, don't do that," but guess what?
It's real.
It's a real. Every single speech, every time I've done an event, people come up to you or come up to me and they say, I really resonated with what you said because you don't seem polished. And I don't take that as like, oh wow, I'm not polished. I take that as a compliment. Absolutely, because I don't want to be. I'm not coming off a private jet. I'm not going into into a Bentley. Like I'm me, right? And the consumers and people and agents are going to identify with someone that is like them. So be a storyteller, stand out, take risks, and don't be afraid to embrace the awkward of not being a pro on video or a podcast or anything else.
Yeah, that's perfect. And I hope everybody caught that, because at the end of the day, people are drawn to authenticity, being real. People do business with people they like. And if they don't know any of your story or any of your why, it's difficult. And I think Tim Brahim talks a lot about connection, about authentic relationships, and a lot of other people do too. But on our episode with him, he went down and deep into creating connection, and I think that pairs really well with that. I want to be a good steward of your time. One of the questions that we ask all of our guests is very important, and you've given some great tips. But if you could just give one piece of advice or one tip for originators to go out and build their business today, what would it be?
So this is what I give, and honestly, it's because it works. It absolutely works. And the book itself is pretty cheesy when it comes down to it, especially if you're reading or you're listening to the audiobook, but it's Mr. Schmooze. And I don't know if you've ever heard of the book or read the book.
I've heard of it, but I haven't read it.
You could find it for free. I'm telling you, if you read that book, and you could read it, I think probably in about an hour and a half, 2 hours, or listen to it. If you're here, let's try the plane ride home. You can find it for free online somewhere. I think it's like $6 on Amazon. If I'm begging you guys, if you take what you read in that book and give away the cheese,
Mr. Schmooze.
And Mr. Schmooze, take that and use those principles that they teach in that book and apply it to your business in one form. I have loan officers that were like, I'm not going to do that, but I have loan officers that decided to take a risk and apply those principles, and without fail, 100% of the time, they get the meetings, they get the prospects, they get a chance to talk to those agents that they weren't able to do before. So Mr. Schmooze, I highly, highly recommend.
There it is, guys. Great tip. Thank you so much, Jason. I look forward to catching up soon.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Awesome, man.